Friends, creator or the existence, so to say, whatever you want to name, they have prescribed, it's a prescription pill that we have an obligation. And what obligation we have? To become a contributor, not become a consumer. Our mindset, emotionally, mentally, physically, is set to be a consumer all the time. Oh, there is a sale, Thanksgiving sale, so Black Friday sale, so let's buy. So I consume, but I don't see the labor, the work behind that consumption. Even a small tomatoes you buy from the store. We don't know from where it has come, how many laborers have worked hard, how many farmers have worked hard. My clothes, computer. Oh, we all are sitting, we have money, we have a lot of money, and we are sitting and we say, oh, I can consume anything and everything in the world. That idea of being a consumer causes lot of problems, the physical problems in the personal life, professional life, and social life. Now, I'm just deviated a bit. I will tell you why. So, in the Gita that we are going to study, it's such a wonderful text. So, it says we have an obligation to contribute. So, mentally and emotionally, in the beginning, we have to become a contributor. And that contributor, if I am a contributor, then I'm celebrating Thanksgiving Day. That is what I wanted to say. It's a very beautiful principle, and I'm not going into deeper perspective. That contributor means that even emotionally and mentally, I am offering myself to the existence. So there are 5 areas of the contribution. Science has recognized that without water, the life cannot exist. So can you see the entire journey of the water, the clouds, the ocean, the sky, and it goes into the earth. Farmers, ultimately produce the crops, and it goes into the animals. We eat them. So the entire cycle is there. No other living species can be a contributor because I have an intellect and a free will. I can recognize and realize that how this contributions is made by the entire existence. So today is the best day. Day before yesterday, this woman, she is almost of my age. She says, I'm pissed off, a lot of people come and I have to cook a lot of stuff. I said, don't cook it. Stop it. If you are cooking and inviting and offering people the food because of your anxiety, because of the stress, better not to do it. Stop them. But if you are inviting them, then emotionally and mentally, you have to think mentally that what has come from the existence, I'm contributing to my friends and relations, and your anxiety will stop. So today in the morning, she sent me a message. She is very near. She never invites me. I cannot go, I know that. Uh, so there are 5 areas of contribution on this Thanksgiving Day, mentally and emotionally. Just, you close your eyes and your ancestors who have left you. It is because of them I exist. Thank you. Thank you. That is the way to thank. Thank to these 5 elements how they are contributing to our life. The space, the air, the water, the fire, the sun. That is the second area of contribution. The third area of the contribution is very important to get rid of the strong likes and dislikes, anxiety, duality, and a conflict, and a jealousy and hatred. So you start remembering mentally and emotionally how your spouse or your daughter or your son or your friend around you have contributed to your welfare. Even if they have said something nasty and it made you realize, it awakened you. It awakened you a sense of, that is the fourth one, and the fifth one contribution is that, my house, even my bed is contributing to me. I say, oh, bed is very soft and I'll have a good sleep. It sensitizes you. It raises your awareness. I'm just picking up a very small fraction of the understanding from the Gita, which is known as the yajna, the contributor. You become the contributor and you will get everything that you need, not what you crave. Because being a consumer, I crave and then I build my ego. And then it causes the dualities in a conflict. So being a contributor, you are dissolving your ego. Not only you are dissolving your ego, but you are attracting not only the peace, the welfare, happiness in your life. So my friends, happy Thanksgiving to you all. That is what the first thing that I wanted to share with you. And the last time I missed one thing. I want to repeat that. We have covered 8 verses, and in 8 verses, I missed one. So I want to correct that. So the first 7 verses highlights the problems of the delusion, and we need to work on it every day, mentally, emotionally, intellectually. The first step is the foolishness. Living unconsciously without awareness of our thoughts and actions. Think of, am I fool, wise, or mad? I have to look into it. I'm just complaining, blaming others. I'm fool, definitely fool. This has nothing to do with the wisdom. Mindlessly scrolling on our phones, etc. That is a small issue. The first step is the foolishness. I have to recognize those areas of the foolishness. Why the foolishness? We have a scattered mind. Being foolish, I lack focus and clarity. Jumping from one thought to the next, which causes the delusion. Why searching? Why there is a lack of focus? Because mind is wandering. Why mind is wandering? There is a joy of attachment. There is a pleasure of possession. And there is a wish for add-on. There is women are saying, I don't understand my mind, Just a couple of days before the Thanksgiving and the Black Friday, I sit on Amazon. I open the Amazon website and I start ordering a lot of stuff. When they reach home and I see that I don't need. I say, send them back to me. Don't return. So not only this area, lack of focus also will take your mind to blame and complain others, react to others, to be in anxiety. So that also results into the delusion. Remember all these 7 factors. Now we are going to understand the remedy, the solutions. So first area, the first step, the first verse, the foolishness. Second is the scattered mind. It is because of the foolishness, there is a lack of focus and a clarity, and then mind jumps from one thought to the next. Why? Why it jumped? Lack joy of attachment. I have to see that. Is there a joy of attachment? Is there a pleasure of possession? And there is a wish for add-on. Causes the anxiety, depression, and suffering in the life. So now move to the third verse. Third verse, now because of the lack of focus and the foolishness, being foolish, we are lacking the focus and the clarity, jumping from one thought to the other. Why? I'm searching the joy of pleasure, joy of attachment. What results into? I have a clinging attachment to the people, places, situation, wealth, etc. That is the third. Third is the attachment. Now I'm attached to whether attached to a person or an event or a thing, then what it brings? Emotional dependence. Emotional dependence brings a lot of miseries in the world. So just you have to connect the dots in your head. Think of it. The moment you have an anxiety and duality and a conflict, think of it. Which factor it is, from where it has started. So start the journey of being foolish, lacking focus and clarity. I have already told you, because of joy of attachment. Then clinging to the people. Third is the attachment, and that brings the instability in the life. And instability in the life causes the emotional dependence. Because I'm falsely relating to the body-mind complex. Fourth aspect. Fifth one. Now I'm totally deeply attached to these possessions and the things and the people. It creates a kind of selfishness. Here begins the ego. You see that ego takes birth. They all are the journey to the delusion. We have to hammer the delusion by understanding intellectually, mentally, and emotionally. No, I have not to do it. Oh, it's a Thanksgiving day. Oh, you have not brought me any gift. No. Let me offer my Thanksgiving. Let me offer welfare to the person who is greeting me on the Thanksgiving day. So you are diluting, dissolving the very selfishness of oneself and others. So this is the fifth one. So you can think of it, I'm foolish, okay. So it means I'm thinking habitually, instinctively, impulsively. So it means, if I'm thinking impulsively and instinctively and habitually, I lack focus. So why I lack focus? Because mind is running after the joy of attachment. So then what happens? Then I have a sense of attachment in my mind. I'm overwhelmed with the sense of attachment. The fourth is the instability in the life. Instability, scattered mind, then attachment, and then emotional dependence. And ultimately, fifth one is the selfishness. So what happens in the sixth one? Intellectual paralysis. Now my mind is not able to think. So I told this women that why don't you start thinking when you are cooking your turkey, you think that, oh, what a great opportunity I got. I have to offer the food to my own friends and relations. So let me offer out of the love, peace, and so your mind, mentality, your mind is a consumer. I have invited all of them, so let me have an appreciation from them. That's why I'm pissed off. So today in the morning she sent an email, so that seems to be working. Intellectual paralysis, the sixth one. I'm not able to think properly. I'm offering you the food. I have invited you, and still I'm in stress. What kind of an attitude this is? This is another way of delusion. So being foolish, pay attention. Being foolish, lacking focus, then clinging to the people. Then the fourth one, the instability. And this instability means the emotional dependence. Then the lack of awareness of dependence, intellectual paralysis. Six factors. What is the seventh factor? Changing desire in changing life. So what happens because of all the previous six factors? Because of all the previous factors, what happens? My mind jumps from one desire to the other. I feel a tremendous pressure inside my mind, in my intellect, in my life, in my personal, professional, social life, in different situations, and that now I'm living totally unconsciously, I have to suffer. So I suffer every day, physically, mentally, emotionally. So these are the seven factors. I missed one factors before that. You have to contemplate every day. How to contemplate, how to remember. Just whenever you have anxiety, you have duality, you want to blame someone, you want to complain, you have a pain, whether it's a physical pain or mental pain or emotional pain, it is because of the delusion. So the first thing Master says, oh, this is, you have to challenge your false assumption and the wrong notions in your life. These are the previous sevens are the false assumptions. I have to rethink. I have to reevaluate my life. I can bet you, if you start doing it, you'll feel at ease, you'll be relaxed, you'll be calm. You may have a lot of challenges in your life, but I can bet you that you will be totally relaxed. You will be able to face the challenges of your life in peace and happiness. So I have to challenge those false assumptions and the wrong notions in my life. If you do not challenge your false assumption and wrong notions, then forget about awakening what we are doing it. It will happen. In the beginning, what will happen? It's a snake and ladder game. The journey of the awakening is a snake and ladder game. Yeah, you reach very high and then you fall down because any of these seven areas of the delusion. It may be because of intellectual paralysis. It may be because of emotional dependence. You see, such a simple thing. It is Thanksgiving Day. I have invited people, and I'm in stress. That is a great delusion. So the more and more you contemplate and reflect, you will realize it is because of the false assumption, it is because of living foolishly, it is because of living unconsciously, it is because of living impulsively. Why? Because of the past impression, conditioned behavior, set attitude. I have yet to change it. I have to make a right effort. First, I have to recognize the false assumption. And if I don't recognize the false assumption, then what happens? I invite unfavorable condition, situation. I invite blame and complaint in my mind. My mind do not remain relaxed. That is what the bondage Buddha is talking about. That is what the delusion is. That is what the intense attachment is. That is what the emotional dependence and intellectual paralysis is in our life. We need to change it. So we start working on hammering the delusion. First, I have to recognize what are the false notions I have. How to recognize? Knowledge does not change. Now see the other perspective. Again, I'm talking from the Gita. Knowledge does not change. What it means, the mouse is a mouse, home is a home. You are David, so David remains the David. But my perception about the David changes, my perception about the house changes. Where is the utility of the house to live in? No, my house is smaller. There comes the problem. Or, for example, David did not appreciate. David remains the David. But my perception changes because of these 7 factors. I have to be alert and attentive in my life. I have to be alert and attentive in my life. No more. But if the knowledge changes, it means I am in delusion. Knowledge does not change. Knowledge does not change. Knowledge of the water remains the knowledge of the water. Knowledge of the air remains the air does not become water. But what happens? Today you are a good friend of mine and tomorrow you are enemy. You see, that is a delusion. No, you have not done something that I have requested for. I appreciate you. So I challenge my mind. Let me find a solution somewhere else. I appreciate you that you have given me an opportunity to endure. Nothing is easy to achieve in life. Let me go to some other place. Thanksgiving. That is the way these spiritual people live their life. But they don't stop. They continue to work. So think of this. If the knowledge changes, so I have to understand clearly, right knowledge never changes. I am upset today, was happy yesterday, and trying to be fine tomorrow. You see, it has changes. That is all about the delusion. That is all about the delusion. That is what the master says. The real self is of the nature of the peace and happiness. It does not change. So I have to inquire, doing the self-inquiry, finding that foolishness or emotional attachment or clinging or intellectual paralysis, or am I seeking the joy of attachment in some object and a person and a people? Knowledge should not change. Knowledge of the real self remains the same. We have to remind ourselves again and again and again, intellectually, mentally, instead of having a wandering mind. I have to constantly contemplate and brood over my life. The purpose of my life is to change the mind, to enter into the higher consciousness is the goal. And if you are aware of that from moment to moment, that results into the mindfulness. Eastern wisdom says we need to examine. So there is another, I have talked in detail. I have to just find out real, false, and unreal. Real never changes. Means knowledge remains the same. Knowledge of physics will remain the knowledge of physics. You cannot change. Do you see that? So knowledge of the real self will remain unchanged. So what happens? The false superimposes. False superimposes. Why? Because of the delusion. Or you can say illusion. Illusion outside, delusion in my mind. I see the mirror as water, I told you. I see I am the body-mind complex. I see my stand against you is right. That is why I'm blaming you. Tomorrow, again, you will become my friend. I have to be aware. I have to maintain that level of awareness and alertness to get rid of this delusion. This delusion kills, this delusion causes extreme stress, anxiety, duality, and a conflict in our personal life. It is because of the delusion I bypass what is knowledge and I perceive what does not exist. One person is bad, one person is good. Do you see that? Person is person. Human being is a human being. Finished. Animal is an animal. Tiger is tiger. We don't see that. So cataract in our mind leads to delusion. And it demands only a self-inquiry. You cannot achieve that removing the delusion by practice. Because if you do not understand, if you do not contemplate, if you do not reflect on your thoughts, on your feelings, on your emotions, nothing is going to change. You have to contemplate. That is why master, or every master talks and talks and talks and talks. That at least it touches your mind, it touches your heart, and you start thinking about it. And the moment you start thinking in a right direction, it goes away. So this knowledge of Eastern wisdom acts as a shock absorber. It gives you an emotional freedom instantly. Why I have to think, he has said something or she has said something, let me drop it. Let me think good of him. Emotionally and mentally you have changed your thought. You have dropped the wrong notions. That is the purified state of the mind. And only the purified state of the mind can achieve to the awakening. There is a rise in awareness. There is a natural state of the peace and calm. You love everyone because everyone is the pure consciousness. In that state, mind reveals many powers. One of the powers is the mind reading. It naturally happens. You need not to work on it. We start living our daily life in peace and calmness. We are ready for self-discovery. So remember these seven factors which is causing the delusion. And now today we have covered 8th verse is that I have to challenge these false assumptions. And to recognize the false assumption is so simple. Whenever I have any form of anxiety, I am upset, I have certain duality and a conflict in my mind, first try to recognize these 7 factors. First is the foolishness, second is the scattered mind, third is the attachment, fourth is the emotional dependence, fifth is the impermanence, sixth is the intellectual paralysis, and ultimately you have to challenge all these 7 factors. The more you challenge all these 7 factors, at least 80% of your anxiety, duality, and a conflict dissolves. And the rest, it can be done by practice. Close your eyes. Eyes are closed, and let us start our practice. Eyes are closed, and you be comfortable and carefree. Now you see that if none of these 7 factors are there with you, you will find it is very easy to be comfortable and steady. So you see that you are relating this to your daily living. Sarvesham swastir bhavatu. So this mantra is simply inviting the thought process. You don't want to create a thought process which results into delusion. So that is why you remember all the time. Why? Sarvesham swastir bhavatu. Sarvesham swastir bhavatu. May there be peace, happiness for all. And today is the Thanksgiving. I can bet you if you keep on wishing emotionally and mentally, don't say to anyone, I wish happiness for you, my honey, mentally. I wish happiness for you, my son, my friend. You will see the change in you. Because you are scratching the layers of the delusion. Why? Because being a consumer, we have a tremendous amount of thought process which goes and builds up the delusion and causes the suffering. Sarvesham, Sarvesham, Shantir Bhavatu. Sarvesham, Shantir Bhavatu. Sarvesham, Shantir Bhavatu. Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu. May there be peace for all. And today is the best day. So I just touched upon a few principles, simple one principle of the Gita. So you just, sit calmly every day or even today and you start visualizing the near and the dear ones. May there be peace for them. Then all those people who have contributed to your life, in your business, in your profession, then go to your ancestors and, may there be peace for them. You will see the change. Cognitive, it raises your cognitive ability. Ashoka is asking what is in Hindi. It is purely an understanding. It is an awareness that how you have contributed to my life, not how I extract the maximum benefit from you. Sarvesham, Sarvesham, Purnam Bhavatu. Sarvesham, Purnam Bhavatu. Sarvesham, Purnam Bhavatu. May there be completeness in all, wholeness in all. So I recognize the wholeness in me, a sense of completeness on today's Thanksgiving Day. I can only thank others when I feel myself complete. You see the logic and the reasoning? How our masters put the reasoning in my life? Oh, so let me recognize a sense of completeness at the level of real self. No one can be complete at the level of body-mind complex. No way. You may be a genius in a particular field. You cannot know everything. So it gives us the sense of humility. Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu. Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu. Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu. May there be auspiciousness for all. And it's not only today. Just remember my words that if you keep on doing the Thanksgiving mentally and emotionally every day from today, do it for about a week and see the result. You erase, you scratch from the surface being a consumer. When you are not a consumer, you're not egoistic. When you're not egoistic, emotional dependence drops, intellectual paralysis reverses, foolishness drops. And now is the time to purify the mind, looking deep inside the forehead. Body is steady. Hands start breathing from into the chest through the nostrils. Continue breathing, quick and short, gentle breath into the rib cage. Continue breathing. You already know it, so if the mind resists, you have to endure it. If you have a variety of experiences, you recognize and accept it. That is our understanding, but we do not stop breathing. Why? At least, we should reach to 6 minutes each, and then I'm going to change the practice. Also become aware of flow of both the nostrils. If they are equal, wonderful. If they are not equal, continue doing it. It becomes equal. Continue doing it. Body is steady. Recognize and accept the changes. Endure if there is any resistance to the breathing. Continue dropping Om Shanti deep inside the forehead. So all the four-pointed awareness is there. So you see that you have four-pointed awareness. So it drops the habitual and emotional reaction. Continue, recognize, accept the changes, endure the resistance of the mind. You see, you are enduring it consciously, so there is no reaction at all. And there is a steadiness in the body that continues which goes a long way in the journey of self discovery. And stop it, do not think. Pay attention to the flow of the breath. So that flow of the breath seems to be equal. And at least one thing should be sure you can, if you are doing the practice regularly at your home, one thing would be sure that you will be free from the seasonal cold in the cuff. That purely at the physical level. But pay attention to the flow of the breath. But if the flow of the breath during the day is also equal, you will find tremendous calmness. And now, looking again inside the forehead, dropping Om Shanti there in the space and start breathing into the belly. Longer breath. It's a longer breath. So you remember that you inhale, the belly expands like a balloon, and you exhale, the belly contracts. Inhalation, expansion and contraction of the belly continues with the breathing. Om Shanti continues. Don't forget the Om Shanti deep inside the forehead. Do you see? You will realize by yourself the lack of focus. We are getting rid of the lack of focus by looking into the space and dropping Om Shanti. And that sense of emotional clinging in the form of some sensation, habitual movement of the body can be dissolved by deeper breathing. A lot of steps, a lot of understanding. Continue. Continue breathing. Continue. Continue breathing. We are pushing today a little more, so continue doing it. Endure the breathing, recognize and accept the changes, maintain the steadiness in the body, and continue with Om Shanti, dropping it deep inside the forehead. That is it. And stop it, do nothing, pay attention on the flow of the nostril. You are aware of the flow of the breath. That is all. Your body almost freezes down, it doesn't want to move because the prana is lifted up by the practice, because you have a right intention, you're doing the Om Shanti, and that is how it works. Now, going back, your mind goes back to deep inside the forehead. Drop the Om Shanti. Body remains steady and start breathing both from the belly and the rib cage, the long, very long, deep breathing. Both into the belly and the rib cage. You have already understood it. Continue. Very long, deep, and the hissing breath. Very long, deep, and the hissing breath. Enduring. The third type of breathing, where the nostrils become fairly clear, free from the obstructions. And sometime you will find that if the nostrils are open during the exhalation, there is a fast expulsion of the breath. Continue. Our mind in the delusion will definitely resist. Oh, it's very too much. But sometime you get a feel that you want to do more. And that is a wonderful state. On that day, you are free from the impurities that attack our mind. And stop this, allow the breath to be normal. Bring your awareness on the flow of the air into both the nostrils. Just maintain an awareness, and if the flow of the breath in one nostril is slow or obstructed, pay more attention there. That is all. Keeping the body steady, you will discover by yourself. I need not to say. Even with just a breath awareness or flow of the breath, you will find that there is a kind of self absorption. And think of it if we can achieve 6 minutes each or maybe more. So the Hatha and Tantra Yoga achieves that kind of a self absorption first, and then they talk about these principles. But our journey is that we understand clearly. So it is understanding supported by the practice, practice supported by the knowledge. And now Om Shanti on the 16 segments of a finger. So pay attention, it should not be mechanical. Mind's eye, mind's tongue, mind's ear, they are doing the job. The thumb is not touching the one segment dropping Om Shanti, but you visualize or your mind touches Om Shanti, mentally saying, and you are saying it too mentally. So sometimes what happens, your mind is extremely clear and pure. Your mind says Shanti, you have a trigger of vibrations on the first segment, and then there is a kind of self absorption. Even though Om Shanti continues deeper inside. But continue doing it. Sometime we may forget, it's okay. Now leave this. Bring your awareness inside the cave of your heart. Visualize the triangle of any color and move the mind in a triangle, dropping Om Shanti clockwise and anti-clockwise, slowly and gently. Once you discover that you are able to sync, that is the moment. Mentally, pushing the mind deep inside the cave of your heart. You will see that the mind seemingly stops. That seemingly stops means now you have transcended the mind. And you simply drop Shanti. After transcending, you need not to do anything. It's a kind of self-absorption. It's a conscious journey. You know what you are doing. And you know what you are experiencing. There is no chance of hallucination, imagination at all. Anytime there is any distraction, recognize, go to the triangle, Om Shanti, sing, return to the deep inside the cave of your heart. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Bring your mind on the right hand, your mind on the left hand. Lift your both the palms, place it on your eyes. Open the eyes inside. Know your experiences. Bring the hands down. Share what experiences. How are you, David?
Good morning. Thank you. Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.
It was as always, a very good practice. The lesson portion of it found good. And so consequently, I went into the meditation with a lot of reflection on knowledge. And I found myself, the only word I could come up with is dissolved. I just dissolved into the practice and let it go. And then all of a sudden, you were doing Om Shanti at the end, and it was difficult to get out of it. So it was great. Thank you.
Beautiful. Anytime you feel difficult to get out of it, it definitely is a great practice. Yes, reflection should continue. Don't worry about that. Oh, I'm thinking it is not meditation. No. The time will come when we reach to the finest point of reflection, the thought stops. Thought stop. Where is David? Oh, here it is. Thought has stopped. But until I find it, it continues. Beautiful. How are you, Stephen?
I'm good, thank you. Namaste. Good meditation, great lesson. I mean, I contemplate and reflect like all day long. So, and it's been a big change. So, as when you repeat it and we talk about it all the time, it just edifies it because I live it. So, my meditation was the fast breathing was a little bit of a struggle today, which was interesting. It just felt like I just wasn't getting enough air. But I also recognized
We did 6
that
minutes.
and it was throughout. It was almost as if when I finally got into the groove of it, it was over. So, but I knew that it was something going on in my mind that was
Yeah.
stopping me from it.
Yeah.
So I just pushed myself through, and I think it was when I've realized and we finally settled into it, I felt my body temperature change, and I was like, okay, you're trying to distract me now in a different manner.
Yeah.
I'm not going to allow this to happen, and it just completely shut down. And there was, next thing I know, that you're singing the Om Shanti, and I think my mind started again saying, like, I don't want to come out of this. So I was like, okay, enough is enough today. Gotta get going here, and I pulled myself out, and it was great.
Do you see? It's a great, it's a higher level of awareness where the mind recognizes its own experiences. No, you are creating a trouble. I will continue to do it. Normally, we get swayed away by our emotions. And that's where the emotional dependence causes the delusion. And that is how we can break it. Beautiful. How are you, Janice?
Thank you, and happy Thanksgiving to everyone.
Happy thanks.
It was a seamless meditation, no resistance, deep, endless dark space at the end, very few thoughts. And one particular thing I noticed today is that a couple of times there was a feeling like I was about to dive somewhere deep, but it was like, oh, next moment I'm going to dive, and it didn't happen. It was just a feeling that it is going to happen.
Yeah. The next moment I'm going to die because we have a very, very strong clinging to the body. Everyone. Even
no,
we
not dive. Not dive. Dive.
Oh, diving. Oh, diving. Okay, diving deep inside. So that is very good. Diving deep, obviously, it points to the self-absorption. And if I am lost completely. So who is lost? The body and the mind. But at least there is one knower who knows that I'm being lost. That is what we are. Beautiful. How are you, Sangeeta?
सर बहुत अच्छा था सर। कई बार वही होता है कि विचार आते ही पकड़ में आ जाते हैं कि मन कहीं और जा रहा है और इमीडिएटली हम
Yeah, anytime the thought distracts and we become aware, the mind returns to it. तुम daily करती हो regular? Time नहीं मिलता, busy हो.
सर करते हैं सुबह।
अच्छा, yeah, she practices daily. Good.
Okay.
Ashok. Ashok is already absorbed into meditation. So that is all. Happy Thanksgiving to you all. We'll meet again.
Thank you. Namaste.
Namaste. Ashok Maharaj ji.